I'm live. And, oh, wait, no, there you go. I'm live. Now, everyone's over in the other thingy. This is going to be interesting. I did a silly thing, and I need to cut it out. I don't exactly know how to. I don't know if I've managed to fug this up. Let's see what's going on here. I'm hoping, okay, just disable for the live stream. I'm hoping people work it out. Catherine, take two. Captain Fizzman, hello. I think people have worked it out. That I've got this thing going. Okay. Yeah, I realized I had the wrong, what you call it, Wi-Fi connection happening. No. Oh, I'll delete that at some point. Although maybe the Israel Folau fans will say that's God judging me. I don't know. Music creator, yes, we back. Hey, Keiko's Last Smile, hello, and Julby. Yes, so I realized I had a flaky connection, and it's because the Wi-Fi was connecting to the extender at the other end of the house, because the last time I did a live stream, I was down that end of the house, and it was the right one to be connected to. I'm back. Hey, Vila and Celia, on time, and I'm here. Hey, Charlie, yes. So I got it happening now. Yeah, I think I'll stick with this soft sepia tone. How's that? Jewel, you're accidentally on time. That's a good job. So this is interesting. I don't know if you remember in previous live streams, I said, when I connect with Google Hangouts, there's a thing telling me to use something else and I don't trust it. I worked out how to use that tonight. They just call it webcam. And it is better in a couple of ways. So hoorah! Now I've worked out how to use it. I've also worked out how to schedule with it. I should not be scared of change. Yes, Miss Clever, who donated to the Millionaire Rugby Players GoFundMe? Fuckwits, basically. There's another thing, that bullshit with the ridiculous homophobic bullshit. I suspect Israel Folau actually hasn't read the New Testament. I went to Catholic school. I had to do a lot of Bible study shit. And I know for a fact the teachings of Jesus do not once mention homosexuality. So if it was really you're going to hell, you think he might have mentioned it once. I'm just looking something up. Because I think there might be something in one of the apostles' letters. Testament say about homosexuality. No. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Anyway, so it's all good. So quite frankly, when it became very obvious before Folau's GoFundMe was cut for breaching their terms of service, it was very obvious he was scamming them. There was a paragraph in the thing that said, I might use this for purposes other than I say I'm using it for, which was one of the reasons that he was cut. Yes, Megalich, here I am. Sorry, technical problems. So it's all good now. We're all good. We're live now. I think I better delete the other one just to make sure. That was the one that people could set a reminder to, but hey, I will delete it to avoid confusion. But I'm live now, so that's good. Sometimes the interface really confuses me. But yeah, the people, it's just the fact is that every single defense of Israel Folau is either a straight out lie or arguing in bad faith in a major way. So I'll think about, he's been sacked because of his faith. No one is telling him what he can and can't do. No one is telling him what sick, fucked up sect, cult he can and can't belong to. What there was a clause in his multi-million-dollar contract that said, you can't cause shit on, the summary version is, you can't cause shit on social media or in public generally. Like, you can't do stuff that would bring the rugby union into disrepute. And the evil, hateful sack of shit did the homophobic bullshit once on social media, and he got pulled up and they said, that's in breach of your contract. Technically, we could terminate your contract now. We get where you're coming from. We don't want to cramp your style too much, but you can't fucking do that. And he made a commitment to not do it again. He is an untrustworthy, self-centered liar. He made a commitment that he wouldn't do it again. And then he went and did it again. So they're like, fuck you, terminating the contract. For breach of contract, and that's why, on top of everything else, him saying, I'm going to launch a legal defense, which also he said he wouldn't do. He said he wouldn't fight, and he wouldn't do anything to bring the rugby code down, and then he went back on that. So he made a commitment to not breach his contract, which he lied and went back on. He made a commitment to not drag the rugby code into the mud. He lied and did that. He said he's raising this money for a court case, which he cannot possibly win. It wasn't a case of discrimination. He wasn't sacked because of his beliefs. He breached his contract. Contract law in a case like this is incredibly simple. He agreed to the terms. He was even given a warning that they didn't have to give him, and he breached the exact part of the contract that he said he wouldn't. There is no court case for him. It has no validity whatsoever. If he ever goes to court, all he's going to do is make lawyers rich. And yeah, when he was on GoFundMe before getting kicked off, he had a specific thing in there that said, like, I might use this money for purposes other than a legal challenge. So the entire thing was a fucking scam. And just the defenses of him are just fucking lies. And that really, really fucking pisses me off. The fact that this is not a matter of opinion. This is not saying, saying you're not allowed to be an obnoxious, backwards bigot is ridiculous, because you can't stop people from being ignorant, backwards bigots. You can try and reason with them. You can try and reach out to them. You can hope to improve their outlook. But he wasn't sacked for his beliefs. He breached his contract, and he did it deliberately. He was told unequivocally what would happen if he did that again, and he did it again. He's a fucking liar. His supporters are liars, and they're scum of the fucking. And what really kills me is you read the New Testament and not about, okay, and for a moment I'm just going to gloss over the fact that it's complete fiction, but you read it, because I did, because I went to Catholic school. You read it, and there is no mention in any of Jesus's teaching about homosexuality, which you kind of think he would have if, it was a go to hell thing. Whereas what he did say is, if you're rich, you know, like Israel Folau, multimillionaire who's now scamming people for more money, that is explicitly go to hell material. You know, bearing false witness is going to hell material. You know, and what happened when the people to, you know, test Jesus dragged the fallen woman into the square and said they were going to stone her for adultery because that's what the law said. And Jesus said, cool, anyone here who's never sinned, you throw the first stone. In other words, he's saying the absolute core fundamental tenet of Christianity is don't judge other people. On multiple levels, it isn't the gays going to hell, it's Israel Folau and his lying, hypocritical, evil, hateful fucking followers and supporters. The Bible, it says it in black and white. They're going to hell. They're really lucky none of it's true. It's times like these I wish I believed that, because it would be somewhat of a consolation that, well, he might be an evil, fucking bigoted piece of shit who lies and acts in bad faith, but at least he's gonna burn in hell forever. And he's not, because there's no such thing. But yeah, that part of it does really do my head in, that when you look at the actual Bible, the actual New Testament, nothing of what he's saying is there. He is actually, his preaching is in direct 100% contravention of Christ's teaching. He's selectively pulling out bits from the Jewish book of law in the Old Testament, Leviticus. And again, the ultimate irony, that one line in Leviticus that says, you know, you shall not lie with a man as with a woman, that is an abomination. There are a lot of people who argue that that's a mistranslation anyway. It's supposed to be translated as you shall not lay with a boy, as in a child. So it's actually outlawing pedophilia, not homosexuality. But that's the Jewish book of law, not the teachings of Christ. And only a couple of verses away from the thing about an abomination, it also says you can't have tattoos. And what does Folau have all over himself? Tattoos. I mean, again, you look at the Jewish laws and they're fucking ridiculous. Like, you're not allowed to wear mixed fabrics. You can't eat, you know, shellfish. But you can own slaves. And it's, you know, the idea that you can use that as a foundation for morality today is sick and wrong and in direct contravention to the fictional teachings of Christ. But it's ridiculous. Safa, is it hard to translate? I am not sure in what language the oldest versions of the Old Testament are written, whether it's in Hebrew or Aramaic or Greek or Latin. But I know there is a lot of discussion and argument about single words in the old languages, because the actual language is not used anymore. So trying to contextualize words and phrases can be a real hassle. Hello, David and Adele. How's it going? I'm in sepia tonight because it's better than the usual washed out pasty white that I usually look. I don't know, I might be able to improve this. Geek Groupie, hello. I might be able to improve and get a more natural color, but last time I played with the settings, it might have been a coincidence, but the stream screwed up last time I was messing with the camera settings, and so I'm paranoid, and I'm gonna. Oh, maybe I should look, because the real reason I had a problem was I was on the wrong Wi-Fi network. Red Scorpion need colored lights. That's a good idea. Just better lights. I do advanced settings. What could I do? It's really the white balance. If I go over here, it's that's a bit less sepia. Maybe a bit more. Maybe that's a bit better. That's a bit less sepia tone. A bit less sepia tone. Holy crap, Dave! You had minus 4.2 in Tasmania. We had feels like 0 here. Yes, last couple of days have been proper winter days. Yeah, Jewel, it is actually really disturbing the number of people who don't realize all of the Bible is fiction. And very disturbing. Geek Group, you're in Perth. How's it in Perth? Yeah, but I don't know. You look at, the way people willfully believe in truly bizarre and stupid things. I don't know, is there hope for us? I don't know. I'll move my white balance. Oh, no, it's done that. That's maybe a bit better. Anyway, a bit less sepia now, a bit more natural. I don't know. I think I need better lights if I want to be any more natural than this. We'll just cope with it. And soldier on. Just I'm waiting to see. I don't know if the name of this live stream is gonna get out. It's obviously a deliberate wind up, but it's also just saying Israel Folau is going to hell is just showing I know scripture better than him, or I'm more honest than him. If he knows scripture as well as me, he knows he's lying, and he knows the thing he's doing is, would send him to hell. So there you go. Justin, hey there, how's it going? That's true, Mystical Aviator. We passed the solstice here. A little bit more sunshine every day from now on. Although traditionally, we are just heading into the coldest part of winter here in Melbourne anyway. It's a bit of the old July is the cruelest month. It's not always the case. I mean, the weather is weird and unpredictable. And yeah, we had the first real cold winter weather this week. It's very likely next month will be colder, and then it'll start to slightly improve. Yes, that's a good approximation of the color settings I've got now. CrossFitter Leonidas facing the Persians in the movie 300. Justin, feet firmly on the ground, not flying this time. Okay. Oh, Adele, you should avoid the Israel Folau stuff because it's fucking sick. It is just sick. It's so wrong what they're doing. Oops, look who's coming in. Hello, Mimsy. You're going to come up and say hello to everyone? Come up here. Yes, I think she's going to come in and say hello. Hey, like it. This is Melbourne. Feel and see it. There we go. Yes. Come and see the people, Mimsy. Come and see the people. Yes. You see the people. Yes. And the star of the show makes an appearance. What are you going to do? I know you want more pats. Didn't know if you wanted more pats or not. More scratches. You're going to rub herself against me if I don't scratch her. Yes, the star of the show has arrived. Everyone relax. Dale, you're right. I'd call him a bigot, not a Christian. Again, simply because what he is doing, what he is saying, is in direct contravention of the teachings of Christ. How are you a Christian if what you preach is the literal opposite of the teachings of Christ? Leanne, happy Tuesday to you. Justin, I'm aware of a stupid article in the Fairfax attacking GoFundMe for taking down the thing. The arguments are just horrifically bad faith. The GoFundMe Folau did was just purely and simply a breach of the terms of service for GoFundMe on 3 levels. One, they don't allow for raising money for court cases to pursue, bigotry. There's that fucking sentence in Folau's thing saying, basically, I'm going to take your money and run. I'm going to use it for purposes other than what I'm saying here. And third is just his promotion of bigotry. They're not for it. Yeah, just I know they're saying free speech. Again, I fucking hate so much fucking assholes who start going, oh, what about free speech? And it's an utterly meaningless phrase when they use it. It's absolutely, as soon as someone goes, what about free speech? I go, categorize what in the ever-loving fuck you are talking about. Don't just say free speech. Categorize it. What are you talking about? Because there is definitely, there's no legal standard. There's nothing in our constitution enshrining any concept of free speech or free expression in Australia. So it's not that. And even if you want to say, oh, I wish we were like America with their free speech laws, the free speech constitutional amendment in the US is that Congress shall make no law limiting free speech, which they have done anyway. But it's in general terms, the US protection of free speech is the government can't prosecute you as a criminal just for things you say. There are limits to free speech. You can't incite hatred. You can't incite violence. And if you slander someone, you'll face civil penalties because of that. So in the US, there are limits on free speech, and Australia has no mandated free speech protections. I mean, I love that, Dave, where you say Andrew Bolt's saying GoFundMe is hypocritical because they let an Islamic Centre GoFundMe, but Folau was not kicked off GoFundMe for being Christian. That is categorically untrue, and anyone who says so is a fucking liar and a fucking moron. He's not thrown off for professing Christianity. He's thrown off for advocating hate and bigotry. It's as simple as that. That, again, I mean, okay, someone like Andrew Bolt is just a bad faith lying sack of shit. I mean, honestly, he's just garbage. But an Islamic. I bet there's a fucking shit ton of explicitly Christian people with active GoFundMes on. It's just like an Islamic Centre who was promoting anti-gay or any other sort of bigotry explicitly in their fundraising would be kicked off. It's just like, that really fucking shits me with his supporters and defenders, and even just the worthless fucking sacks of shit who are going, we're going to play devil's advocate and talk about free speech. Get fucked. Your argument is bullshit. It is categorically, simply wrong. It is absolutely wrong. Their arguments in defense of Folau are utterly without merit. All it is bigotry and defense of bigotry. Anyone who says there's anything else is either thick as fucking shit or knowingly lying. I'm going to cough. David, yes, you're right about airport. Certain places have much stricter rules than anywhere else. And of course, the airports have always warned you, don't even make jokes about anything that could be construed to be violence or terrorism, because they won't take it as a joke. They'll arrest you. Oh my God, I hate people who start going, It's like, again, there is not a single person among all the worthless, sniveling, fucking garbage denizens who are defending Folau. There's not a single one of them who would assert a company can never be allowed to terminate an employee no matter how bad their behavior is. It's just the fucking hypocrisy. I mean, that always gets me more angry than the bigotry itself. The bigotry is vile and disgusting, but the hypocrisy when they pretend that isn't their motivator, that isn't what's driving them. They go, yeah, it fucking is, because the fucking wankers is like, as if these pieces of shit think companies shouldn't be able to sack someone for gross misconduct or breach of contract. And the fucking false equivalence is just like, as Dave pointed out, fucking Andrew Bolt saying, oh, it's hypocrisy because they've left up a fundraiser for an Islamic center. He's not being dropped for being a Christian. It's for being a bigot. And it was like I was going to put another analogy that would fall down, but it's again the false equivalence. It's like when you say, who's bad? Nazis. And you get some fuckwit who goes, extremists opposing the Nazis are just as bad. No, they're not, because the extremists opposing the Nazis are just against the Nazis, whereas the Nazis are preaching genocide and brutality against innocent people. It isn't the same thing. And it fucking shits me. And it's always so hard to tell that whether are these people just stupid? Like, are they just really fucking stupid and they're incapable of seeing how fucking ridiculous their argument is? Or are they just the bad faith actors who know they're lying, who know they're arguing in bad faith, who know their argument makes no sense? And it's just like, fuck off. And this is why you get all these folks who you should engage, because when I get stupid fucking dickheads on any social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, I'll just block them and delete the comment, because it's a waste of fucking time and they fucking get off on being shitheads and causing trouble. So it's hilarious. I can take that away from them on my platform, and I do it because it's really funny how much it upsets them. They go, well, no, you should engage. No, what's the point? They're arguing in bad faith anyway. There are situations and contexts where I would take the time to have a discussion with someone who disagreed with me, someone who I thought had really fucked up attitudes. There are some situations and contexts where I would engage with them. Internet fucking comment sections is not it. That's fucking ridiculous. The idea that there's anything to be gained by engaging with these fucking pieces of garbage is absolutely ridiculous. Like, there is absolutely nothing to be gained by engaging with them, and fucking hours of my life to be lost if I do decide to waste time engaging with them. But it's just the ridiculousness of their position and their behavior is wild. It does my head in, absolutely does my head in, that they think they're making sense. Feeling silly. Jesus came down to earth today. The evangelical and fundamentalist Christians would realize he's a hippie commie and nail him to a cross. Yeah, that's what happened before. But you look at particularly American evangelicalism and fundamentalism and the way it's started to permeate other countries with Christian churches. It is literally the opposite. Like that really fucking creepy thing the mega churches do, where their pastors rake in millions of dollars and whatnot, and they call it the prosperity gospel, and it's the literal opposite of the teachings of Christ. Again, teachings of Christ categorically say a rich man does not go to heaven. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. It is this prosperity gospel is literally, if you were to take the Bible, particularly the New Testament, but even the Bible as a whole, if you were to take that as real, as in the word of God, the evangelical Christians would be going straight to fucking hell. They would be going to hell before the atheists, because they are the voice. You read the New Testament, evangelical Christians are the voice of Satan, corrupting the believers. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not using hyperbole. Just literally, the words in the New Testament make it very clear that the evangelical churches are the agents of Satan. It's as simple as that. Dr. Aban, what's my view on Anglican Christianity condemning liberals in general and Folau specifically? Well, that's good. Lots of people do lots of good things in the name of all the various religions. None of them are real. None of them are true. But some people use it to do good, and some people use it for gross self-interest and straight up evil behavior, quite honestly. And that's the Israel Folau crowd, just fucking evil. And that's the Bible saying. Again, I don't know if Israel Folau and those other evangelicals have just literally never read the New Testament, or they are that fucking sick and evil that they will read it and then do the complete opposite, and say they're the godly ones. It's just weird as fuck. But just one of the many signs of how fucked up. Safa, the big question: how much treasure does the Vatican have? Nobody knows for sure. I think their declared wealth is in the billions, and many people think that's significantly understated by as much as a factor of 10. There are people who suggest the assets of the Catholic Church are in the trillions of dollars. That was interestingly, because the Catholic Church has been so decadent for so long, that was one of the grounds Protestants used for persecuting Catholics after, Henry VIII split off, made the Church of England, and then other Protestant religions popped up. But the Church of England, under Henry and others, one of the ways they justified persecuting Catholics was to call them idolaters because of all the rich trappings of the Catholic Church. Not actually wrong. Don't know that it really justifies the persecution and murder that happened on a really significant scale. But yeah, the fact the Catholic Church has been corrupt for so many centuries that it has been used against them quite a lot. That means he wants to sit on my lap rather than sit up on the thing saying hello to everyone. Just sit on my lap and get scratches. That's okay. No, dibs on all the gold in the Vatican. That is a lot of gold. I don't know how you would carry that much. There's an awful lot of gold. There's an awful lot of gold in the Vatican. But yes, the Catholic Church has at least tens of billions in assets. And yes, many people think they actually have trillions in assets. So is that true? You're saying the Vatican was the size of Victoria at one point? That's huge, because now it's just like a city, Vatican City, the city-state. And it is, of course, comparatively small. But yeah. And of course, although there's a concentration of their wealth in Vatican City, it's not all there. It's spread all over the world. You know, it's in Swiss banks. It's in all their churches and cathedrals around the world. Even just in terms of real estate, they're insanely wealthy. But yes, they're pretty shifty in terms of, you know, biblical instructions to live simply. And, you know, as I say, rich people don't get into heaven. But yes. No, are you a dragon? You're wanting to add to your golden hoard. If a dragon, in that fairy tale sense of one who wants a huge hoard of gold, if a dragon like that suddenly appeared, yeah, the shortcut to all their dreams coming true would be to attack Vatican City, just because the amount of gold and whatnot. What are you doing, Mimsy? You're up to no good. Really don't know what you're doing, you cheeky cat. Look, she's over here now. Where is she? Oh, no, you still no. Look, she's down here. Oh, now she's, oh, good. It's like she knows I'm going to do something, so she goes and makes it difficult. You're a bother, Mimsy, is what you are. You're a bother. Are you going to come back here now? She's just being so weird. I swear, if you break anything, Mimsy, you're in so much trouble. She's just being weird. It's a good point, Nug. I don't know what defenses Vatican City has, but I think you're probably right that they have less guns than Fort Knox. Delia, Opie is with you. Come up here, Mimsy, and you can say hello to Opie. No? Yes? Come on. Come back here. That's it. That's it. She's back. So if you think the Swiss guards are expensive, that's the thing. I mean, there is an absolute absurd amount of wealth tied up, not just in the Catholic Church, though they're probably the most notorious for it, but religions of all persuasions around the world. But it's a thing with people who want to have power and influence over others, and religion is one of the big ways of doing that. They're really not to be trusted. Next time I get AIDS in, I'm not sure when I will get him. He's in a hospital this week. I don't know that I'm going to get an opportunity to go in and see him while he's in. If I can get in while he's in hospital, it could be fun because I think he's going to have all wires and electrodes coming out of his head. But yeah, if I don't get him in hospital, hopefully soon, because he's in hospital at the moment, having all these tests done for his epilepsy, in which they're going to induce fits by doing terrible things to him, and then measuring brain activity and whatnot to try and diagnose the specifics of his condition. But it's basically going to fuck him up a fair bit and probably put him in a super bad mood. He's only supposed to be in hospital till the end of the week, so we'll see what happens after that. So, see, I think Australian Christian lobby will bring back the old Christian TV ads. Yes. Israel Folau skipping across the field in denim overalls, singing about his pockets and a mouth. Oh God, now you're making me think of the Green Mile, having a mouse. Oh, David, point of view with Bob Santa Maria. That's a really weird one. A little bit of Australian history. This guy was reasonably big in the 70s. He, B.A. Santa Maria, was a hardcore, extremely conservative Catholic. He was in the Labor Party. Split with the Labor Party on social issues. He argued he was very much, pro-union and pro the workers and whatnot, but he was hyper-conservative socially, and he split with the Labor Party on social issues, formed an always ineffectual political party called the Democratic Labor Party, the DLP. But he had this show called Point of View. It was broadcast very late at night on the commercial. He's on, if you want some weird fucking viewing, go on YouTube, and a lot of his things are on YouTube. I think I'll do a quick search. I think it's just B.A. Santa Maria. If I look up B.A. Yep. There is a bunch of videos about B.A. Santa Maria. So you can see that truly, truly interesting man. Sorry, I just saw that one. Philadelphia, UK moving John Venables to New Zealand for a new life, not going down well with locals. That's one of the guys who killed the Jamie Bulger, isn't it? It's a very complex issue when someone commits a serious crime as a child. What do you do with them? Like when you decide to, that you maybe not keeping them in prison for life. So what do you do with them? This is another thing people don't get. Like everyone wants to be really punitive on criminals and gloss over the fact that they get out of prison one day. And when you get realistic about that point, that criminals are going to come out of prison one day, you got to do something about that. You can't just be cruel and brutal to them their entire prison stay, because they're going to get out. And so there has to be some rehabilitation. You're the people who's soft. Your rehabilitation is soft. It's like, well, if all you do is subject a criminal to cruel, brutal, violent behavior, all they learn is, when you get the chance, inflict cruel, brutal, violent behavior on people. the knee-jerk reaction to want to punish is completely understandable, particularly when you hear awful cases. You definitely want, punish them. But unless you're keeping them in prison for ever, and there are some people who should be kept in prison forever, then you have to look at rehabilitation. And there we go with the saddest little sad, weak attempt to draw. Folau did nothing wrong. Hey, it's not my rules, buddy. It's God's rules. The Bible states explicitly Israel Folau's going to hell. Wish I could do something about it, but I can't. It's God's law. It is absolutely explicit in the New Testament on a number of fronts that Israel Folau is going straight to hell. He's going to burn. He's going to burn forever because God says that's what happens to people like him. It's in the Bible. I assume you've never read it. Go and read it. Suffer, is violence genetic? Okay. I know there is arguments about that. I'm going to categorically say no. I don't believe for a second anyone's genetically predisposed to violence. Little asterisk, in as much as some people can have, of course, a brain disorder. They make them antisocial or violent. But I don't, apart from the fact that people actually have disorders, I think violence is a product of environment rather than genetic. It's not genetic in the sense that someone's born bad, but if someone has a disorder, they do it. So does the New Testament override the Old Testament? For Christians, yes. In fact, any Christian who holds up anything in the Old Testament over the New Testament is rejecting the covenant of Christ. They are committing one of the worst sins they could commit, and they're going straight to hell. Again, not my rules. I wish I could do something about it, but Israel Folau and anyone who supports him, straight to hell. It's absolutely categorical in black and white in the New Testament. His behavior and the way that they're attacking people and the lying and the false witness, absolutely straight to hell, straight to hell. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. God makes the rules. God said he's going to hell. So nothing I can do about it. Wish I could help. God doesn't listen. So she got to wash rest later or earlier. Who knows? Yeah, it's okay. It's still early Tuesday for you. Late Tuesday for me. 9 p.m. It's just coming up on now. Yes. Oh, so I haven't been working in the city lately, but I am tomorrow. I'm thinking of maybe I'll get breakfast in the city and all those family. I wonder what's the best place. I meant to ask it on social media today and I didn't. Safa, how do I deal with jet lag? By not traveling, because I don't travel very much. Hey, Stella, how's it going? I mean, I don't particularly suffer from jet lag. For me, the big thing, and this can be very difficult, but if you've gone like on the long flights, intercontinental flights, and you've gone through time zones and all that shit, well, the best way to avoid or minimize jet lag is wherever you land, you have to follow that local time straight away. So like if you've been, you've you left Australia and you've been traveling for 24 hours, you end up in England and you haven't really slept much at all in the last 24, 36 hours, and you land in England in the morning, fuck it, tough it out. You got to tough it out through the whole day, and don't go to bed until that night. In my experience, that makes a huge difference. It's very tempting to just go, I've just got to have a nap. I've just got to, you got to tough your way through it. No, did I hear the Zim dollar is back? I don't know what the Zim dollar is. Currencies could be zombies. No, you've strayed out of my area. Did I say hello, Stella, by the way? Justin, take sleeping pills. Yes, I mean, that's the other thing. If you have been sleeping on a plane, but you land somewhere and it's nighttime, if you don't go to sleep, that'll have as bad an effect the next day as falling asleep at the wrong time. I know Mrs. Angry is much more susceptible to jet lag than me, but also, yeah, she found it hard to stay up a whole day when we landed in the morning. But I think that makes a huge difference. Oh, the Zimbabwean dollar, the $1 trillion note. See, I was confused because when you say Zim, I think of Invader Zim. I should have bought, there was a stamp and coin collecting place in Melbourne that had a framed set of that really outrageous Zimbabwean currency, including the $1 trillion note. Absolutely worthless, but a fun novelty for an absolutely ridiculous denomination. As the, but yeah, I'm a bit of a weird traveler because people always talk about you're overwhelmed by a new place. Do you get homesick? I don't get homesick. Like, I've been out of the country for a month at a time. I don't get homesick. It's when I travel, I just basically feel like wherever I am, that's just where I am. Like, I'm not sure I'm explaining that very well, but I never have had an incident on traveling feeling homesick. It's just like, oh, this is just where I am now. I'm in London, I'm in Los Angeles, I'm in Tokyo or whatever. This is just where I am now. And when I get home, that's where I am then. He's feeling sad. Yes, you're right. If we quote the law in Leviticus, everyone's going to hell. And that's the thing I was saying before, Felix. That's an explicit thing. Anyone who says they're a Christian who tries to selectively use Old Testament quotations to supersede the teachings of Christ is basically committing the worst sin they can. They're rejecting the covenant of Christ and straight to fucking hell. Absolutely straight to hell. No two ways about it. Well, apart from the fact it's not real and doesn't exist. Yes, Justin, you're right. Sunlight helps with Reed Justin Thompson. That's why I say if you land during the day, you've got to stay up and go out a bit. So if you're saying Belarus had millionaires until they changed currencies. Yes, currencies are weird things. The various countries that have had hyperinflation, Germany after the Second World War, Zimbabwe recently, some South American countries at different times. But yeah, well, look, it's halfway mark. This is the other thing I was thinking of. There's a medical study they're releasing this week that hasn't had nearly as much coverage as it needs because it's important, and that is studies showing that alcohol causes far more damage than any other drug, any prescription drug, any illicit drug, any recreational drug. alcohol is far more damaging. And to me, that's obvious. That's an obvious truth. But a lot of people don't realize it, and some people quite aggressively argue against that. You know, dude, I'm sorry, just like alcohol is is really dangerous. Yes, and that means it's cocktail time. I was thinking I could just do the suicide cocktail. I'll just make something with my strongest alcohols, and that would be absinthe, obviously, chartreuse, which is 50%, and my herbal thing, which I have no idea what strength that is, but I think 60%, because it started out being 95% alcohol, and I diluted it heaps of times with vodka. But I think it's probably still 60%. I have no way of measuring that. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Make a suicide cocktail with those three. So I love duty-free alcohol. I don't travel enough. I obviously do. Oops, Mimsy slipped a bit there. When is she going to come across? She's so silly. You're such a weird cat. Don't put your butt at the camera. That's very rude. My last duty-free alcohol, I've still got the little skulls of Crystal Head vodka. It's the last one. I've had that for years. Does vodka go off? Maybe I should drink it. Crystal Head's one of the few vodkas I've had that I can just drink straight. It's smooth enough, I can just drink it straight. Ah, David, when did the Hungarian hyperinflation happen? I don't know that it could. I don't think it's possible to make the Zimbabwean hyperinflation look piss weak. They literally were printing $1 trillion bills, and they were worthless. Like $1 was of more value than the printed $100 trillion bill. Actually, I'll look it up. What was the biggest one? Zimbabwe inflation currency. I'm going to see. Zimbabwe's peak month of inflation is estimated at 79.6 billion% month on month, or 89.7 sextillion% year on year. So that is almost unimaginable, but it basically meant even the $100 billion I know they actually printed $100 trillion. $100 trillion. And that was worthless. In their desperation, they printed a banknote that was $100 trillion, and it's worthless. Like $1 is worth more than that. Wild. Those numbers are just unfathomable. I think probably a lot of people in Zimbabwe at the time, if I were to guess, they were probably working on a barter system and also desperately scrounging for any foreign currency they could get. And I know the government said foreign currency was illegal and there's probably jail sentences for it, but you know, people aren't going to go along with that. But I imagine there was probably a lot of barter going on. That's a good question, Safa. Do democracies have less hyperinflation? I am not a good enough historian to answer that question. No, do you reckon Hungary's inflation was 41.9 quadrillion%? Stella, I don't think they sold them to tourists as an industry, but it did become a thing among collectors. They were never worth a lot, even as an oddity to collectors. Yeah, they would be worth more as a tourist souvenir than as currency. I also don't know, because we're getting into weird made-up numbers. Sextillion sounds like it's more than quadrillion. But these are just, at a certain point, these are just made-up concepts. And it just means the currency was worthless and there was no possible way to go. Anyway, I'm going to make, in the light of medical advice this week about how dangerous alcohol is, I'm going to make a suicide cocktail. So I need to get my cocktail shaker. My cocktail shaker, my tiki mug, cut glass tiki mug. As a real traditionalist, I wouldn't use the tiki mug. I'll just get a big block of ice, put it in there, chill that. Okay, so I need a synth, my herbal tincture, put those there. Where's my chartreuse? There's my chartreuse. I think I'll put a little lemon juice in it just to cut it. Chartreuse. And a sweetener, I think, because they're all got to be a bit better. God, this is going to be psycho. Okay. This is going to be psycho. Okay, here we go. Here we go. One shot of each of them. That's exactly what I thought, Stella. Feeling why can't we just go back to goats and adzes? And Stella says, I don't think AZ would like being traded. And so, he would. He absolutely would. He'd love it. It'd make him feel special. Okay, so cocktail shaker. Might use this ice from my fruit juice. Put that in there to chill it. Okay. Against my better judgment. Dun, dun, dun. Slowly working my way through. Yes, Stella. Okay, yes, you agree. AZ would like being traded. Definitely. No, you reckon AZ is worth 4 cows and 5 chickens? There's a line there. Okay. Herbal tincture. The base of this was Polish rectified spirit, 95% alcohol. Then I've diluted it lots of times with vodka, probably still 60%. As you David saying, in 1946, 460 trillion Hungarian pengo was worth $1 US, which I think is about the same. Basically, big competition between Zimbabwe and Hungary, but basically just meant the currency was absolutely worthless. Adele, early night, been studying, brains flat, take care of yourself. I am also going to put in, where is it? I'm going to put some sweetener in here. I've never done anything as stupid as this, basically. So I hope this doesn't taste terrible, because I don't know. I don't know what it's going to taste like. And some lemon juice, because lemon juice is good in cocktails. I'll put some lemon juice in too. This is possibly, either, we'll call this the suicide cocktail or the Angry's bad idea. Angry's bad idea. Look like maple syrup. It's agave syrup, which I got from Costco. It's quite nice as sweet. It tastes like golden syrup. I don't know if everyone knows what. It doesn't taste like maple. It comes from a cactus, the agave. or succulent more than a cactus. It's the same base that tequila's made from. Tequila and mezcal is made from agave. So we do a little shake, chill it, make all those ingredients be friends. Okay. Fox, you drink lemon juice straight from the lemon. I like lemon juice in my Pepsi. Well, it's an interesting color. Oh my God. Did I say this is potentially a bad idea? Because this is potentially, maybe that's just the name of this cocktail, Angry's Bad Idea. Looks like tomato juice. It's okay. That's a relief. It's pretty serious. That is about, and I have to guess actually, but this is probably 60% alcohol, maybe more. Even with the agave and lemon juice in, this is probably about 60%. It's not bad. All right, Angry's Bad Idea paid off. It looks less like tomato juice in real life. That somewhat false color. I agree, it looks like tomato juice on the screen. It's slightly orangey. You want an Angry's Bad Idea? I'll make it my party favor because this is really dangerous. You would not, if you were a sensible person, drink more than one of these in a night. There's 3 shots. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. That is probably equivalent to 5 shots of vodka or, you know, gin or tequila. It's yeah. So this is probably at least 5 standard drinks, maybe 6. So in other words, I drink this, I would not be safe to drive a car for about 3 hours. I'm planning on just going to bed after this, but I'm just working it out and go, I think one of these and no driving a motor car for 3 hours. It's actually pretty good. For a ridiculous suicidal idea, it actually tastes pretty good. Dave, skull laugher, doesn't it? No, again, I am really opposed to binge drinking and almost never do it. But no, even sculling that one, like I said, it's like 5 or 6 standard drinks at least. That would make you very sick if you scull it. And hello, Shadow Eyes, how are you? I tell you one thing that's improved, but the medium I'm using to do this stream is the newer YouTube thing that they just call webcam. They tell me, don't use Google Hangouts anymore. We're discontinuing it later this year. Use webcam. And it's come back. It's telling me how many people are watching, which is actually just the thing I like to know. And as opposed to, I used to have to also open the stream in YouTube and pop out the chat. This has got the chat built into it. I just realized I've had it on top chat the whole time. So I may have missed comments. In fact, I think I missed a lot of comments. So I apologize for that. Yeah, no, I think I've missed a lot of comments. Safa, you have to be 0.0 in some European countries to get back to 0.0. Look, okay, in broad terms, for a man of my build, 2 to 3 standard drinks in 1 hour would put me at 0.05, like so above the legal limit in Australia. And then 1 drink each subsequent hour would keep me there. So the 3 standard drinks would take 3 hours to dissipate from my system. And so for me to get back to 0 would take about 6 hours. Like basically, if I drank this and I was required to 0.0 to drive, I would be very foolish to drive before I woke up tomorrow morning. Basically 6 hours minimum, maybe longer. So Shadow Eyes, what am I drinking? This is Angry's Bad Idea. Because I'm a bad and irresponsible person, an article came out this week highlighting that alcohol was more damage, does more health damage than anything else, any drug, any prescription drug, any illicit drug. And this is absolutely true. And more people need to acknowledge it. So I just made a cocktail with my 3 strongest alcohols. Chartreuse, green chartreuse, which is, it's 55% alcohol. So green chartreuse is 55% alcohol. Red absinthe, which is 75% alcohol. And this one, which started off as a herbal tincture made with Polish rectified spiritus, which is 95% alcohol, but I diluted it many times with vodka, not water. So it's probably about 60 to 70% alcohol. And then I also put some agave syrup and lemon juice in here. So this is probably 60 to 70% alcohol. It's called Angry's Bad Idea. David, that is eminently sensible. Trying to judge 0.05 is very hard. It's safest not to drive at all if you've been drinking. Absolutely. Safas, how many people? The average has been, there's been about 20 people in the room on average, but people have been going in and out. Yes, I call that Angry's Bad Idea because I was really worried it was going to taste terrible. It actually tastes pretty good. I actually like it. I really quite like it. For whatever reason, the flavors have worked together. The chartreuse, the absinthe. The absinthe isn't even dominating it. And the herbal tincture, I think it was rosemary that I steeped in the spiritus. So for copyright, you go, well, you know, copyright, you trademark it. David, I've had a blood test recently as liver. I think my liver is pretty good because okay, for one thing, I usually never drink enough to have a hangover the next day. Like this is actually a lot for me to drink. Yeah, so I basically don't get hangovers because I don't drink to that level of excess. Even probably the worst I've ever been, I've never had one of those kill me now hangovers. The worst I've ever had is I felt a bit queasy for for basically the whole day afterwards. Like, had an upset stomach for like the whole day afterwards. Yeah, I'm quite conscious of alcohol's bad and fucks you up. And the older you get, and I am no longer young, and the older you get, the more it fucks you up. So I don't drink that excessively now. Like, particularly if someone starts going, do shots, shut up, I'm going, no, I'm not going to do shots. I'm only going to drink in a way that is enjoyable. I have to enjoy the taste of it. I like that, Philip Schiller. It's my flaming moment. I like that. Yeah, a signature drink. Angry's bad idea. It's pretty good. I mean, might be able to tweak it a little bit. But for something I literally just threw together that I had serious foreboding would be bad. It's actually pretty, I actually like it. I quite like it. Yes, no, not a thing to have when you're operating heavy machinery, as the thing goes. You know, I wouldn't want to start dicing onions now. I'd lose a finger, I think, and not be too bothered to be, oh, well, I didn't want that finger anyway. It's just, I'm not sure how much pain I'd feel. I like that, Charlie. It's gone from being Angry's bad idea to Angry's pleasant surprise. It is. It's actually a pretty good surprise. I am occasionally surprised at how good drinks I mix taste, because I do something really sort of, oh, I don't know, and it's way there. Maybe I should come up with something really fucking decadent. Like, you get the ones like, okay, what are the two most over the top cocktails that just have like fucking heaps of shit in it that I can think of off the top of my head is the Long Island iced tea, which I mean traditionally has like 5 different spirits in it, or the tiki cocktail, the zombie, which people make zombie differently, but it's common for a zombie to have 4 or 5 different sorts of rum in it. Maybe I should make a really fucking intense one. I feel so. I remember 30 years later, yeah, I was there when he invented it. Yes, I'll become folklore. Yeah, I was there when the Angry's bad idea was invented. He was a man, 7 foot tall, blonde, built like a Viking. He's going to take your woman. Yes, I want to become folklore. I definitely want to become folklore. I'm trying to think, because, you know, if I'm going to take risks, and that was a risk. That was a risk. I mean, if I was going to take risks with the drink, I'd throw in something like Fernet Branca, which is this one. This is a bitter Italian liqueur. It's not high alcohol. It's how much alcohol is it? Oh, it's 40%, which is normal for a spirit. I think 40% is normal for a spirit. You get some that are made for their flavors that are only about 20%. Once you get over 40%, it's getting weird. Because it's common for vodkas and whiskeys and even tequilas and gins to be about 40. Some gins notoriously stronger than other spirits. But I got this, you know, like, what's this one? Limoncello, the traditional lemon-based one. This is only, oh, actually, it's 30%. For some reason, I thought limoncello was 20%. It's 30%. But I'm thinking of all the different mixes. So you get neutral ones like this one, Lillet Blanc. You get Lillet Rouge, the red one. and Blanc, which is the white wine. It's a French wine-based aperitif. I love that there's a phrase in there that says this is elaborated in France. Elaborated in France, they elaborate on it. It's been produced in France. This is a wine-based aperitif. But it's, again, this is often used in cocktails and it's only 17% alcohol. Oh, here's a fun one. I think this one's Australian. This is a violet liqueur. It's 25%. You see it's nearly gone. So neat. Use this bottle. Look at the base in that. Use this. I've got a few bottles that would be very good in hand-to-hand combat. And this is not the most extreme one. But I have a couple bottles that would be very good in hand-to-hand combat because they've got a really heavy base and you could just fucking do someone's head in. Ooh, Shadow Eyes. I'm going to make that next time. An extremely angry zombie. I'll look it up. I'll look up the... I'm not really that big into tiki cocktails. They tend to be rum-based. And, yeah, everyone has their various... Okay, here's 3 popular recipes for a zombie, the famous tiki drink. Okay, so this one, light rum, dark rum, orange. You could substitute Cointreau or triple sec, basically an orange liqueur. Okay, so that's the only alcohols in that. Light rum, dark rum, and orange curacao. Then it says you've got fruit juices in a zombie as well. It says lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice, passion fruit, grenadine, and bitters. Optionally add some dark rum as well. Yeah, so, okay, here's another one. This recipe, it's dark rum, anejo rum, light rum, so 3 different sorts of rum. Applejack, which is an American apple brandy. Then it says papaya, pineapple, lime, and simple syrup. And this one, okay, this one has Jamaican rum, gold rum, 151 rum, then a bunch of fruit juices: lime, pineapple, grapefruit, passion fruit, falernum, cinnamon syrup, grenadine, bitters. So basically, a zombie is 3 plus spirits and some fruit juices. So for a you in Russia, it's rude to refuse a vodka shot. Disrespectful. There's a very funny comedy routine by an American. What's his name? Bert the Machine. Bert Kreischer. He's funny. He's actually, he's probably not as fat as me, but he's basically my physique and tends to do his live stand-up with his shirt off. But you can find him, you look up Bert the Machine, the Russian mafia story. He tells a story about being on a train in Russia and ending up drinking vodka with the Russian mafia. It's a very funny story in marriage. It's basically like he's basically saying, I can put away alcohol to a degree that surprises people, and these Russian mafia dudes weren't used to people who could drink as much as them. So that's a very funny routine. But I reckon I will make an extremely angry zombie. I'll probably do a live stream with. I might not do, like I did a video last night. I don't often do one on Monday nights. I try to do like Wednesday. I might not do one because I've got I was like a social engagement with an employment agency after work tomorrow because I'm a contractor. I need to schmooze on these things. So this is an end of financial year drinks. So I'm going to schmooze after work tomorrow, which may be important. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to get drunk, but Because I bet they only have fucking beer. I bet I don't drink any alcohol because I bet they only have beer and wine. I fucking hate people. Just have cider. Just have cider. I don't care if you don't have spirits, but fucking have cider for fuck's sake. If they don't have beer and wine, I'm gonna be so shagged off. But hey, you know, say la vie. But which means I may not make a Wank of Fat Wednesday video, but I'll probably do a live stream on Thursday. I'll try and do TFU end of week video on Friday. If I don't get it together Friday, I'll do it on Saturday. But yeah, on Thursday night, I'll probably do a live stream on Thursday night. I'll come up with a recipe for a very angry zombie. And I'll have to have my twist on a zombie. But I've got fruit juices, so I've various fruit juices I can make it up, and got a couple rums. I think it'll have to a very angry zombie would have to have absinthe in it. We'll see. It'll be another experiment. Will it be like Angry's bad idea, which turned into Angry's pleasant surprise? Suffolk and I outdrink Russians. No, I can't outdrink anyone. I am not a one to sort of fucking advocate binge drinking. And in fact, something that really annoys me, because for long periods of my life, I did not drink alcohol at all. And I used to get super pissed off at people who try and force me to. So now, even though I am not averse to having a drink now, if you want to get on my wrong side in a fucking big way, try and coerce someone into having a drink. Try when someone says, I don't want to drink, browbeat them. Try and browbeat them. Try and peer pressure them into drinking, and you will be on my wrong side very fucking quickly. Whether I'm drinking or not, if someone decides they don't want to drink, or maybe they never drink, maybe they're a teetotaler, I am much more supportive of someone who doesn't want to drink at all than someone who wants to get shit-faced and do shots. It's like, no. If someone says, and whatever someone chooses that they don't want to do in their life, they don't want to drink alcohol, they don't want to do drugs, they don't want to smoke, they don't want to eat meat, whatever it is, like that's their thing. Don't try and fucking browbeat them into doing it. David, you gave up drinking 16 days ago. Congratulations. I hope I am not a bad influence on you. If you make that decision for yourself, you are making a rock solid decision, and you have my 100% support. No qualms at all about fucking, I'll fucking cheerlead for you, buddy. You're looking at stuff and saying, this has become a problem for me and I need to stop it. You are, because you're making that call yourself, you are categorically doing the right thing. And I am fucking 1,000,000% on your side. Yeah, and you'll save money. Good call, Safa. This is the thing. I'm very much into, don't fuck with people if you can possibly do that. One of the reasons I've got no fucking patience for pieces of shit like Israel Folau. Don't fuck with other people. Okay, man, yeah, if you're doing 12 to 15 standard drinks a night, yeah, just, look, okay, huge fucking thumbs up to you for recognizing, like, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. And, yeah, you know, and cutting it out completely, that works for you, man. I am so fucking in your corner. You are doing amazing things, and if you stick with, I should just not drink at all, then I am 100% in your corner on that. If, you know, basically you cut it out for whatever period of time and go, okay, maybe I can trust myself to drink in moderation on occasion now, then well and good. But if you decide, no, I just shouldn't drink, I'm fucking in your corner, man. I am 100% a supporter of you. Oh my God. So, okay, you gave up drinking after being sexually assaulted in a mining camp. And even when people know why you're not drinking, they try and pressure. Why the fuck do people do that? I mean, I've seen that shit so often. And I will instantly go like, okay, I'm not shy about having a drink. But if I'm out somewhere and there's a group of people and someone goes, I'm not drinking, and someone goes, go on, I will fucking stand between the person who's not drinking and the person going, go on, have a drink, and just say, no, fuck off. Okay? I'll be the bad guy. I will be the bad guy without a fucking pause. Because often when the person's going, I'm choosing not to drink, they feel really awkward about it. I'll absolutely stand up for them. I'll get between them, and I've done this in the past. Get between the person who says, even if someone's been out and they've had a couple of drinks and people are going really full on and they've gone, oh no, shit, I'm at my limit. Fuck, I'm sorry. And everyone's going, no, don't stop now. I will do that. I will be the person who stands between them. You know, even if I have a drink in my own hand, I'll be going, no, fuck off. They're not drinking, okay? They've stopped. Fuck off. Leave them alone. Don't be a dick. David, the self-medication. Dude, you are not alone in that. And the strength it takes to recognize that you're making a mistake and you're going, oh, I was blacking myself out to fucking cope with anxiety and I'm not going to do that anymore. Dude, the fucking strength it takes to recognize that and take action is incredible. Like, you're fucking doing amazing, man. You are doing amazing. I'm so on board with that. So, yeah, I mean, some nights I'll go out and I won't drink at all. Some nights I will go out and drink a lot, and sometimes I'll drink in moderation. But fuck me, if there's someone, because I've been the person who was out with a bunch of people drinking, and I've been the person who wasn't drinking at all. And it's shit when people try to coerce you into drinking. So, man, if I'm ever out with people and someone needs a champion to say, no, they're not drinking, fuck off, leave them alone, don't be a dipshit. That's me. I'll be that guy. Again, with people who don't want to, I don't want to make a scene. I'll make a scene. I will make a scene. Oh, yeah. Jesus, David, the social pressure in Australia to drink is ridiculous. And that was one of the reasons when I grew up that I didn't drink at all, because I grew up in a country town. Everyone drank and there was a lot of pressure to drink. And I was a little bit of a social outcast. And everyone always talked about peer pressure. Oh, that's why I smoke. That's why I drink, because it's peer pressure. I was like, okay, everyone's been a fucking dick to me. And one of the things they're doing with it being a dick is, occasionally coercing me to drinking or smoking. So, you're going to be a fucking shithead to me whether I do it or not. So fuck you. My rebellion against you is I'm not going to drink alcohol and I'm not going to smoke, which made me a significant rarity in the town I grew up in. And the college I went to, I was in college. The college I went to, it's now part of Charles Sturt University, was a fucking notorious booze and drug fueled, decadent place. And I did not drink or do drugs at all while I was there. And that put me in a time of moment, particularly if you remove the people, because there was a Christian group on campus and they were Puritans, and I was not and it was just a choice I made for myself. But I was in a very small minority of people on this campus who did not drink or do drugs. And again, but see, it is the same thing. People who aren't fucking up their lives with drinking or doing drugs, I'm not going to be judgmental about the way they lead their lives if they're not fucking themselves up. But same deal, if someone chooses not to drink or not to do drugs, I'm going to defend. Oh, David, I can imagine how hard it was for the first few days. If you'd been using alcohol as self-medication and then you recognize that and decided, no, I need to cut it out. God, I can only imagine how fucking hard the first couple of days were. I feel really weird saying, like, I'm on your side, swig. But I am on your side. I only drink when I'm with you people. You people lead me astray. That's not strictly speaking true. Often on, I do tend to, usually on the live streams, I make a cocktail. Usually not as fucking deadly as this one. But often, I come home from Friday or Saturday night. It is more likely than not I will have a couple of cocktails. And by couple, I actually mean 3 or 4. But again, I don't get shit-faced. I don't lose consciousness. And in fact, I think last Friday and Saturday, I'd made myself a couple. I think I made myself 2 cocktails on both Friday and Saturday. And I was aware, I'm drinking less than usual, but that's fine. I mean, I was making cocktails. I was drunk. I shouldn't have driven a car. I didn't drive a car. Yeah, those times when I go, just had a couple of drinks, I'm buzzed, and that's fine, and that's all I want. I'm not going to have any more. Hey, Pugwash, how early is it for you? Too early to have a drink? Yes, Charlie, you drive me to drink. I don't know if I think, would it be posturing if I did something like Dry July? Like, I'm not going to drink. It's one of those things where I go like, I don't think it would be difficult for me to not drink alcohol for a month. But am I fooling myself? Maybe I should. And I could do it with a really arbitrary one. Like, people talk about Dry July. Do a daily video diary, like, day 3, it's getting to me. I killed a hobo in frustration. I felt better afterwards. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Dave. That's the thing. Recognizing the difference. If someone chooses not to drink, respect that. If someone's going to have a drink, that's fine. If someone's going to fuck themselves up, then I'll probably say something. But yeah. Stella, you have the same reservations as me. The Dry July thing seems a bit obnoxious and disingenuous. Yeah. Pugwash, you had 18 cans of Carlsberg for £10. That's a bargain. You only drink when it's sunny. Does that mean when the sun is up or on really sunny days? Dr. Bunch, not too late to join. 15 minutes to go, man. That's a good mentality, David. If you decide not to drink, it's good if you can have the mindset, I can actually drink if I really want to, but I'm simply choosing not to. If I chose to, I could do it, but at the moment, I'm just choosing not to. Gosh, the sun's always, what's the old saying? The sun's got to be over the yard arm. Well, the sun's over the yard arm somewhere. Who's familiar with the British comic strip Andy Cap? I think it's still being published. I'm going to do a search. Is Andy Cap? Oh my God, why can't I spell? Still being published. Andy Cap was launched in 1957. So it's run for 60 years. Jesus Christ. And it's still credited to Reg Smythe. Jesus Christ. I know Reg Smythe isn't still doing it because he must be fucking dead by now. But Andy Cap is this British comic. He's a fucking alcoholic. He's like working class, and he has a very violent wife, and is weird. Even Homer Simpson managed him with, "Oh, Andy Cap, you wife-beating alcoholic, will your hijinks ever end?" No, he's still being published. I looked. There's one June 25th. Flo walks in and says, "Honestly, you sleeping again?" Andy says, "I'm not sleeping, Flo. I'm having a power nap." To which she angrily responds, "How come you never get fully charged?" Hilarious. But the thing is, Andy is an alcoholic who is regularly violent. It's wild. Young bloke in the pub asking Andy, "The single life, Mr. Cap?" Andy says, "Oh yes, son. I remember the days when women were queuing to see me." And the barman says, "They were mostly clutching IOUs." I want to see if there's one that's actually funny. Andy Cap. Someone says, "Evening, Andy." Andy says, "What are you drinking, Arnold?" Arnold says, "Alcohol-free beer. It's nice. Would you like to try it?" Andy says, "What is it again?" "It's alcohol-free beer. Beer without alcohol in it." Andy says, "What?" And the barman says, "Leave him, Arnold. You'll never understand." No, I honestly don't think it ever gets funny. Oh my God, Felix, yeah. Hagar the Horrible is a really weird comic strip as well. That's run for, I don't know, at least 50 years, I think. Dr. Obama, do I think Albo's better than Shorten? Short answer, yes, but I think Albo's been weak as piss since the election. Labor generally have been weak as piss since the election, just saying this dumb shit about, "We like rich people too." No, we don't. We, who are not the rich people, do not like the rich people, and we want to fuck them up. We want to, not a guillotine. Modern problems demand modern solutions, like wood chippers. Yes, David, I think my spelling is impaired, and I've got a tiny little bit of Angry's Bad Idea left. I'm amazed how good that one tasted, actually, because I was really worried that it was just going to taste terrible. It actually tasted pretty good. I wish there was some easy way to test alcohol content, actually. I am not aware of an easy way to do it. I know people who do home brewing and home distilling, there's a thing where there's a particular thing that you float in the concoction you're making, and it will float at a particular level depending on the alcohol content of what you're making. You bug wash. The drinking it is not very scientific though. Yeah, Charlie, I think what I'm talking about is a hydrometer. I love that, Dr. Obama. You converted a conservative friend to the left with the badassery of Keating. Stories seem to work with people. And yeah, showing that someone who is socially left, even if he's fucking a bit of a neoliberal, Keating was very much on board with the social left policies of the ALP. And Jesus, he could fucking hurl an insult when he tried. Fila and Sela, I saw that Jon Stewart speaking to the US Congress about 9/11 first responders. I'm on board with you about, is that genuine or performance? No, I think like he's genuine about the 9/11 first responders. He's like this hardcore New Yorker. Kaiju, did I see the investigation yet? No, I don't know what Hey, Environmental Coffee House, you're here for the last 10 minutes. Western, okay, I don't know if I've ever asked you where you were before. I knew you were in the US. Western New York State. What city are you actually in? Not that I would actually know, but I kind of, just through TV and stuff, kind of know bits of New York State. David, yeah, Fred Bassett is still being published, definitely. Probably not with the original writer. Oh, okay. The live reading of the Mueller report, Kaiju. Yes, I heard about that a bunch of actors were going to read the Mueller report as a stage play. Yes. Okay. You're in Environmental Coffee House. You're in a rural area of Western New York, Allegheny County. I've heard of. Oh, it's an Amish area. See, that's the thing. Where I'm trying to think again with my ignorance, where I think I know New York is a northern state, but I get the impression that the Amish are more in central states. Yeah, I don't know. I do like to share Environmental Coffee House. I love to share about Australia, but I love the live chats and get people from all over the place, from Europe, North and South America, all over. Dr. Obama, you are right about that whole young impressionable people getting sold on the conservative destroys college liberal stuff. Fuck, maybe I should do something like that. I don't know. Because there's this idea that people on the left won't get in your face and get angry and rip the piss out of people, which I clearly do. But yeah. Yeah, the thing is, Kaiju, the Mueller report has some damning shit in it. I have no idea if these Hollywood people promoting it will have a positive. Fuck, man, I have lost the ability to understand humans, basically. I've absolutely lost the ability to understand humans. That's what it comes down to. This is possibly, I'm realizing at the moment, my inability to understand anything might be because I finished the Angry's Bad Idea cocktail. I am fucking hammered at the moment. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, consider that Shapiro getting owned by the old codger at the BBC. That guy was a dyed-in-the-wool Tory, and all he was doing was looking at Shapiro and going, dude, you're a fuckwit. Like, you talk about, people should be nicer, but your whole online persona is being an asshole. Why the fuck are you talking about people should be nicer while you're an asshole? And Shapiro's pathetic response was, why don't you just say you're a leftist? And this old fucking Tory is laughing, going, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're an idiot. But fuck me. I'm just looking at the Dr. Obama saying, your friend's step-grandfather was Trump's stockbroker and got mentioned in the Mueller report. Mueller. The Americans keep saying Mueller, but I look at it and it's Mueller. Like Bueller, Ferris Bueller. Bueller, Mueller. Muller, I went to school with a Muller, and that's M-U-L-L-E-R. It's a very traditional German name, whether you have an E in it or not, and it's Muller. But if with an E, it's Mueller. I don't know. Fuck, I don't fucking know. Honestly. Pugwash, like the yogurt with the corners, you're getting fucking meta, dude. I don't even know what that is. Kaiju, John Lithgow does Donald Trump. I've seen John Lithgow do Trump, I think. John Lithgow is funny. I tell you what, I had a very weird experience. It's almost time for me to go, but I'm going to relate this very weird experience. John Lithgow was the lead in a movie about, 25 years ago, a long time ago. A movie called Raising Cain, where he plays someone because of trauma as dissociative multiple personality disorder. And it's not a bad movie. There's some good stuff in it, and it's kind of fun. But I had this weird job where I was doing this promotional thing in a shopping mall for a couple of hours each day. And then when I finished, because there was a cinema in this shopping mall, I did a couple of hours on this promotional thing. It was this fucking weird thing about roof tiles. I've had so many strange jobs in my life. This weird fucking thing about roof tiles was one of them. But anyway, I did it for a couple of hours and I was finished. And there was a cinema in this shopping mall, and I decided I was going to go see a movie. And there's this sort of thriller shocker movie with John Lithgow called Raising Cain, where because of trauma he's got this multiple personality dissociative disorder. And I was literally the only one in the cinema, and that is in my entire life the only time I have ever been the only person in a cinema watching a movie. And it was this weird sort of creepy multiple personality scary dude movie. And there is this one bit where he's been institutionalized and he's being interviewed by a doctor, and the doctor's trying to get other personalities to come over and say something to him, and he goes, shh, and points over the doctor's shoulder. And so I'm in this dark cinema by myself with crazy John Lithgow pointing over my shoulder. And I couldn't help it. I had to look over my shoulder to make sure no one was behind me. And it's probably not the greatest movie in history, but I remember that because I was in a cinema by myself, and this one bit where he went, look behind you. I looked behind me because fuck it, I was in a big dark room by myself watching a scary movie. So that's the thing that happened. I noticed in the comments we were all talking about Ben Shapiro is a piece of shit. Yes, he is. He's fucking garbage. Dr. Palmer, did M. Night Shyamalan make a movie with him? Well, he's done well, there was Unbreakable with Bruce Willis, and then Split, which was the dissociative multiple personality one. And I still haven't actually seen Glass. I have to watch that. Oh God, Coffee House, I'm with you. Shapiro's a fucking asshole. But yeah, look, okay, we've hit 10 o'clock, and gee, David, time for another bad idea. No, the cocktail, which is gone now. That's just water I'm drinking now, melted ice. Angry's bad idea, which turned into Angry's pleasant surprise, was actually tasted surprisingly good. We are not going to have another Angry's bad idea. We're going to have Angry's good idea, which is go to fucking bed. Oh my God. It's kind of like, no, I know I am really fucked up from drinking that. And if I was to stay awake over the next hour, I think I would get more fucked up. I'm just going to go to fucking bed now. Yeah, show-wise, I finished it. It was way better than I expected. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out tonight. It has, as usual, been exceptional hanging out with you fine people. Really enjoyed hanging out with you. I'm pretty sure I will be back on Thursday night when, if we get to cocktail hour, I'm going to make an angry zombie, and we'll see what the fuck that turns out to be. Coffee House, it's 8 a.m. Tuesday. I hope your day is good. I hope your day is good. I hope you enjoy it. I hope everyone, if you're like me, about to go to bed, sweet dreams. If you've got a day ahead of you, fucking look after yourselves. You're all pretty fucking awesome people. But I'm definitely going to say good night for now. Look after yourselves, one and all. And I will say bye for now.